Hey, this is Mark from DetourSUSA.com. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Yes, you are. This is going to be episode 172 tonight, and, well, we're looking forward to it. We have another full show, another maybe an hour show, maybe longer. It's usually longer. So, Tammy's already joined us. Good evening, Tammy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. As I was telling Tammy, she was fixing the stray hairs that stick out for you long-haired people out there. And I was telling her the difference between men and women. One of them is I just got out of bed. I take a little nap before the show because it gets to be around midnight by the time we get done here. And I want to make sure that I'm nice and fresh for the show. So I just kind of roll out of bed, slap on a hat, and get in front of the camera. And boy, you can tell it, I know. But at least now we've got somebody better to look at besides me and Josh. Although Josh is pretty good looking, you got to admit.
Yeah.
I'm making the audience nervous. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So if you're watching the YouTube recording, what we're doing here is this is the pre-show, the show we have before the show and before the good stuff starts. Although I think sometimes the good stuff is in the pre or post-show. It's less structured, so it can be a little more silly, I suppose. And not to worry, Josh is here. He's just, because I saw him working on the document. We have a shared document that we all use, and he was busily making edits
typing
and
away.
things. Yeah, typing away. And he just hasn't called in yet. I remember the good old days when it was just two people doing the show. And if Josh was late, it was always, oh, God, is he sick? Is something happened? Is he not going to be here? But now there's three. I'm not as panicky. See, I have these, you know how men went to war in Vietnam many years ago and then more recently in the Middle East. And you have these flashbacks of these horrific times. Not me personally, of course, but they do. And from the first episodes of the XJ Talk Show, it was just me. So I have these flashbacks of droning on and on and on with no really anything other than just talking about my Jeep and things that are on the website and talking for a complete hour. So anytime that the team isn't going to be here or there's any kind of concern about the team being here, I have these flashbacks of like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do that for an hour. Yeah. So that's why it was amazing that one time when Josh was sick at the last moment and you were able to fill in. It was just a huge relief. I don't mind talking. I just don't like talking all the time. All right, I am going to, as I threatened, go turn the air conditioner down because it gets hot in this little room. And hopefully Josh won't call in while I walk away, but I'll be right back. Feel free to entertain the audience.
Oh, me? Oh, do a dance?
You'll have your own flashback. Well, they can't see you, so that's one saving grace.
Can't. Okay. Well, then I can dance.
There you go. Just act like you're out of breath, and they'll think you were dancing. I was just walking back into the room when I saw Josh calling. Josh has joined us live and in color.
Finally.
Hello, Josh.
Hi, Tammy.
Let's see. Do I have Josh in frame? Almost. Oh, I don't know if you saw that comment that I put in there, Josh, about the YouTube. I didn't know if you knew that those were YouTube comments, so that's why I'd stuck them there in the YouTube section. I know it would be long because we'd run out of music, but
yeah, that's why I said let's just keep it to the review section, because it more or less is a review, and now we've got something to talk about and people to inspire people to do a review themselves.
That, but the thing I was thinking was that it it's the YouTube love segment, so we're giving a little YouTube love to the person that's leaving us comments in the YouTube comments. So I can see both ways. I'll let you.
We could
you
tease
can do whichever
in the YouTube segment.
Yeah, that's fine. I just thought that way we could get more YouTube subscribers by pointing out that we love our YouTubers. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sound right.
What do you call me?
It's funny because you make that kind of old voice, and I remember some movies really about people that were talking about back in Alt 3. I was doing all this kind of crap, and here we are we're past the aughts of the 21st century.
I know,
but we were in them. So it's like how is this time period going to be viewed by people at the latter part of this century?
That's a scary thought.
Hey, do you remember John's Yahoo email address? Isn't it prerunner1982 at yahoo.com?
Oh, I have an email here from him. I just have to find it. I'll tell you.
Well, I've got emails from him too, but I'm pretty sure it's not the email that he would that he's put out publicly.
Well, don't forget we're broadcasting, so anything you say is being recorded and broadcast.
Yeah, well, the Yahoo one is one that he has mentioned in Radio Comtech before.
Oh, no, I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I definitely don't put any of that stuff to memory when I can just look it up. So that's what I was going to do. I was just going to go look at the email from him.
Yeah, I get his from his work email address. I get a lot of stuff from him for This Week in Jeep from his work email address, but yeah, I don't have anything from, and I'd have to go back and listen to an old Radio Comtech.
I must have your email wrong when I set up that mailing list, because Tammy got the news tips test that I sent out, but you didn't. So I must have typed it in wrong.
It was in my spam folder, though.
Yeah.
And my spam folder is empty. I don't get a lot of spam to my Gmail.
Oh, yeah. It is from his place of bigness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather not give that one out.
Yeah, and I get the anytime he does a Radio Comtech segment, he uploads that to Dropbox. So that's no email there. So yep. Unfortunately, that not going to be.
All right, no worries. Because I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out to his Day of Dirt adventure. And for more information, I was going to direct people to email him, but
Well, let's see. Maybe it's the one he used to register with xjtalk.com. And we'll see if that's the case here. So where are we with everything? Are we ready to go? We just monkeying around with this stuff?
I'm doing a one last run here.
Oh yeah, this is probably it. Well, you were going to broadcast it, so I don't think it's a problem. It's a free email service, so it's prerunner1982 at yahoo.com.
Hey, I was right. Memory's good for something.
See, your significant other wasn't right. You're not wrong all the time. Oh, Tammy can identify with that.
It's just he wasn't arguing with her about this, so that's okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now, if she said she's always right.
No, I am always right, except for that one time where I thought I wasn't, but then I was.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
Oh, Chris is in there. Chris in our chat room. And of course, Josh and Tammy and I.
And Steve, right?
Yep, that's I see Steve. I'm just looking down here to make sure that I wish there was a little bar from days ago and current, because I see 92 War Wagon, but I'm almost certainly it's from last show.
I think that was last week, but I think
Yep.
BC, I can't read it. It's too far away. The 92 person, I think that's tonight.
Yep.
Well, I typed in Heidi Ho, and I think that was the if that was from tonight, then that was something that
Hey, I happen to be friends with Heidi, and she's not a hoe.
Well, she's another gardening instrument.
But yeah, I've got everything in the show notes that needs to be there, and everything is all updated and where it should be, I believe.
I'm getting the show timer up, and even though I didn't use it last night for the Tony and Josh show, either segment, I'm going to use it tonight, damn it.
And I'll try to remember to wave.
Yeah, that's going to be a... how does that work? We're going to... this is going to be a little different tonight, Tammy.
It's going to be comedy, because neither you nor I know when we're supposed to wave. That's
so I'll
what makes
start
it so
waving
much
now.
fun. Yes, there we go. Just don't stop. About 27 minutes from now, I think you should be good.
There you go.
I need to get a shot of us all in a row, and we should just stand and sit down and do the wave across the screen. Alrighty. So anyway, tonight's going to be a little different because we're going to put the radio network promo in there prior to the disclaimer. So I guess really the thing to watch for, listen for, is when you hear the disclaimer, when the music starts playing, about anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds after the music starts playing, because I have to have time to get to the button, I'll bring in the video with all three of us. So it'll be about 5 seconds after the video, after the music starts. And if you guys are ready, I'll go ahead and roll things.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
But first, a professional fade out.
You need the needle drag, the record needle across the record drag.
That's here somewhere. That's not it. Oh, here it is.
Ooh, red Jeeps are sexy.
Yes,
No,
yes, there are.
Wrong one.
Yeah, I guess green Jeeps are okay.
I got to get one done for black Jeeps now.
Yes, you do.
Black and purple.
All right, here we go.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
XJ Talk Show is on the air. Okay, it's a podcast. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, here's Tony and Josh.
Away from Tammy.
Sorry.
First week in G.
Oh, a lot of money flying around these days. A U.S. jury awards $150 million for a Jeep fuel tank fire death. Now, this is a topic that you guys have heard me talk about for, well, at least a few years now. A U.S. jury in Georgia today awarded $150 million to a family that sued Chrysler for the 2012 death of their 4-year-old in a fiery crash involving a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Following a nearly 2-week trial, jurors said Chrysler, a unit of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, was liable for the death of Remington Walden and failed to warn customers that the tank's position could increase the risk of fire in a rear-end crash. Chrysler's previously recalled 1.56 million Jeep SUVs with the rear fuel tanks, although as opposed to the front fuel tanks, right? Although the 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee in which Walden was riding in was not among that recall. The jury, which began deliberating Thursday afternoon, that was today, said Chrysler acted with reckless and wanton disregard and ordered it to pay 99% of the damages. The driver of the vehicle that rear-ended the Grand Cherokee was responsible for the other 1%. Walden was killed when the Jeep he was riding in was struck from behind, rupturing the fuel tank and creating an inferno, according to Jim Butler, a lawyer for the family. Had the fuel tank been placed farther forward on the vehicle, he said it would have been better protected. Concerns over fuel tank placement prompted Chrysler to announce in 2013 that it would recall 1993 through 1998 Grand Cherokees, along with the Jeep Liberties from model years 2002 through 2007, for that famous trailer hitch fix that we all know really wasn't as much of a fix as they were hoping it was going to be. The company also said it was going to conduct a customer satisfaction campaign for 1999 to 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee owners. The announcement came after Chrysler initially denied there was a safety issue. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has linked more than 50 deaths now to the fuel tank issue. Chrysler's lawyers said at a trial that the fire did not cause Walden's death and blamed the driver of the other vehicle for it instead. Fiat Chrysler Chief Executive Sergio Marchionne, whose pre-recorded testimony was played during the trial, said that regulators never found a defect in the 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee and there was no evidence the vehicle was dangerous at all. I think $150 million says otherwise. Now, that's not to say I still wouldn't rather be rearing it in a ZJ than a 78 Ford Pinto. A hero drives off a tow truck and escapes in a flash of glory. And first, let me say I'm sorry to all the tow truck drivers out there. I know what you guys have to go through, especially you night shift guys. I had a good friend with a tow truck who was a tow truck driver for a number of years, and he would let me ride along on some of the night shifts, and yes, we saw all kinds of things. Tow trucks are the bane of the working man's existence, however. Granted, the drivers are just doing a job themselves, but there are far too many of them that take the smidgen of power they have over the rest of us and let it go to their head, abusing said powers and acting a little more like gung-ho than they probably should. We've all been there. You spend your hard-earned cash on a few groceries after a long work week and think to yourself, I deserve a coffee over that fancy hipster joint across the street. Well, you do. What you don't notice are the sharks circling the vehicle, the predatory tow truck drivers whose very existence is to circle the block endlessly and to hunt down even the most innocent of micro offenders. Oh, your tire's 3/16 of an inch over in this tow-away zone. Sorry, nothing more I can do. The moment you walk out of the grocery store lot, your precious Prius is gone, on its way to the tow lot, impounded along with your dignity and temper. Now, this is our plight, people, but there is a shining light in our midst, a man who's willing to stand up for what's right, a Katniss Everdeen to our District 12, a King Leonidas to our Sparta. He's a Jeep owner in Chicago, and he's the first hero on record escaping a tow truck driver by driving his vehicle off that truck who's victimized him. In dramatic footage caught by Tony Morenjo. That guy. On Sunday night, the Jeep driver can be seen sitting in his vehicle, which was atop the tow truck at the time, yelling at the driver to stop. The tow truck driver eventually pulls over. We could hear the guy in the driver's seat of the car yelling out the window. Marengo said he was like, hey, buddy. Then our hero leaps into action, doing what none of us ever had the guts to do. With his newer model JK hosted up by its rear end like a nerd on the playground with an atomic wedgie, the man puts it into 4 high, guns the engine, and drops it in gear. The results? Well, nothing less than a spectacular and clean getaway. We'll go out on a limb here and assume that the mean old truck driver got the Jeep's info before the great escape. but it's a small victory, and a small victory we will take nonetheless. May the odds be ever in your favor, Jeep Driver X. We're rooting for you. If you guys would like to see a video of that, we'll be sure to post that up over at xjtalkshow.com, but a quick YouTube search will definitely warrant you a entertaining little snippet of video. Big thanks to all of you guys who continue to help me out each and every week by submitting stories to This Week in Jeep. If you guys got something you think we should report on, or if you have a response to any one of our stories, well, make sure you let us know by sending an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
You know, Josh, I just want to jump in here real quick about your first story. I'm sure that I would feel differently if I had lost a loved one in a fiery crash. But, I mean, do they not want us to have I'm asking a question. I know the tree huggers would say a resounding yes. Do they not want us to have gasoline? Gasoline is a flammable chemical mixture, and it will burst into flames given the right situation. And I don't think that there's been that many accidents where people have burned to death in their Jeep. Has there?
It is really, going off of what I've reported on over the years about this topic, it is a very perfect storm set of events that have to take place in what vehicle, how fast it's traveling, where it's sitting, the temperature, the ambient temperature, road conditions, the whole 9 yards. Obviously, there's been enough of those conditions that have met and meshed just perfectly to create 50 such of these accidents where people have lost their life in it. Now, this one in particular is really at the top of the news story, obviously, because one, this is the first lawsuit that was filed about all this, but secondly, it was a young boy that was killed, and there was a lot of gruesome details surrounding this incident and how the boy died, and I'm not going to go into those right now because it is rather tragic. But nonetheless, you're right. I mean, these are vehicles that are now approaching nearly 20 years old. And they run on gasoline, and the engineering behind them was sound enough at the time, but by 20 years now past the safety standards, well, they may not quite cut the mustard. Be that as it may, they're still vehicles on the road, and they still need to run on gasoline. Now, Chrysler had this temporary fix by using a trailer hitch to further guard the gas tank from puncture and stuff like that, but it really was barely a fix. It was a Band-Aid, if nothing else. And it was pretty much just to appease the NHTSA to get them off their back.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a brilliant move because it's like,
it was. I mean,
we're not going to do anything special. We're just going to say, yeah, here's a trailer hitch, flop it on, and a nice middle finger to the government is the kind of the way I looked at it. I don't want people not to be safe, but let's look at this. The Jeep Cherokee alone, and I'm talking about the real one.
Yeah.
2.7 million Jeep Cherokees were created. And I know you're talking about the Grand Cherokee, but I'm just talking about a number of Jeeps. And out of just 2.7, I mean, the one Jeep alone, the Jeep Cherokee, 2.7 million, there's been a total of 50 accidents where fires occurred, and I would assume this is where people were injured or killed or just killed. Do you recall?
This is just being killed. Now, injury accidents are, there's those I'm sure are tallied up, but this is revolving around deaths resulting in a fiery crash around the Grand Cherokees of those years and Jeep Liberties.
Yeah, and again, if you've been a victim, you've lost a family member, a friend, or whatever, I can't send out enough. I can't say enough positive condolences about that occurring. I understand it's a horrible situation, but that $150 million. It's not like, that's $150 million that you and I have to pay.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah.
It is, because the company isn't going to say, oh, yeah, man, here, sure. It's just like this $15 an hour thing up there in your neck of the woods, Josh. It's not the businesses that are going to be eating that $15 an hour. It's everybody else.
But you and I aren't buying new Jeeps every day either, and I'm sure that Jeep has some degree of insurance that protects them from this sort of thing really getting to their coffers too terribly deep.
Right, but it's going to be coming back, and even if they don't have to, they're going to push it back because they're supposed to be there collecting money for their shareholders and making a profit. So just remember that whenever you're cheering on these folks and they're winning these huge settlements, or you're on a jury and you're deciding this, it's not money from nowhere. The money doesn't appear. Well, I guess it does at the Federal Reserve as they print it. But you know what I'm saying.
I play this little game where I take this card from my wallet and I put it in this machine in the wall, and I play this game where if I push the right numbers, I get, I call it out pops the bucks. Because money comes out.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Just appears out of nowhere. Yes, there was a joke in there somewhere. I don't know where. And
I'm not giving you a hard time. It just sounded funny.
You're also not giving me any credit.
Well, I don't want to hurt your feelings. All right. Well,
I only got one left.
The last nerve. All right. Well, let's move along as soon as I can figure out what I'm supposed to press next.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Hey guys, it's time to say goodbye to Old Man Winter and get ready for those long-awaited days of spring, here anyway. But first I need to get the Rubicon ready, and I'll share with you later on how I plan to do that.
Oh, excellent. Looking forward to that. Old Man Winter's gone. I know you've been complaining about wearing that coat, driving around with the top off. I mean, that's wanting the top off hardcore up there in the winter, the real winter region of the Northwest. Is that considered the Northwest,
East.
Sammy?
The Northeast.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
Josh is the Northwest.
Yeah, I'm doing it again. I catch myself making that mistake. I pick on Josh about being in the Northeast. Is that considered the Northeast?
I'm close to the Mason-Dixon line, I guess you'd call it, but they considered the D.C. area the Northeast.
I was told there'd be no geography.
Oh, gee.
Oh, sorry.
It's always something.
It's my tagline is I was told there'd be no math, and now just expanding on that.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
It's funny that I should play that because I want to talk about the 4x4 Radio Network. So
as well you should, because it's huge, it's big, and everybody needs to know about it.
It's all the talk.
There's a joke in there too. So I just want to let you know that I'm going to say it wrong. The 4x4 podcast and the XJ Talk Show, we've joined forces and created this 4x4 Radio Network. I got it out. And you can go over to 4x4radionetwork.com, press the play button, and listen to both of our wonderful shows. So you can literally sit back while you're on the tablet or on your desktop and listen to these shows one right after the other. It's really cool. It's like listening to a radio show with various shows. And we're going to be adding new shows here very soon. We're in talks with several other 4x4 podcasts. And looking forward to providing you guys with a lot more information, a lot more 4x4 fun. And if you don't know, it's not the number 4, the word BY, and the number 4. It's 4x4. So just go over to radio. Now I'm going to do it wrong.
No,
www.4x4.com.
The number 4 or the spell it out 4?
Yes.
Oh, geez. No, like you see it on the side of the vehicles, guys. It's 4x4.com. www.4x4radio, or is it 4x4.com? 4x4.com? 4x4radio.com?
Well, it depends on what show you're going to.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't put it right. Guys, I didn't put it right in the show notes.
Yeah, well,
that's why I was confused.
It's not. It is 4x4radio.com, guys. 4x4radio.com. There we go.
Actually, we got both of them. It's 4x4radio.com or 4x4radionetwork.com. You can go to either one. Takes you to the same place. I'm glad we had time to sort that out.
Now everybody's confused.
Clear as mud.
Just click on
They don't call him Mutteroy for nothing.
That's
everybody.
right. Just click on the link in the show notes. It'll take you to the right place. So here's a little bit where we introduce ourselves because we could have new listeners, new viewers at any time. So Josh, you go ahead and start.
Well, I am Josh. I am known as NW99XJ over at xjtalk.com and as well as several other Jeep sites. Guys, I am all over the web, as is XJ Talk Show and xjtalk.com. Tammy's all over the web as well. Tammy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have a blog. You can catch it at www.jeepmama.com. And I'm pretty much Jeep Mama or at Jeep Mama on all the Jeep sites and social media. So you can find me pretty much anywhere.
Except Twitter, where she's Mama Jeep. We still have to send a cease and desist letter to that lady, or hopefully it's a lady. I guess I'm making an assumption there.
She hasn't been on for, years.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we've tracked down her actual address, and we have a person on the scene as we speak. No, I'm kidding.
You hear the helicopter flying
I do
overhead.
If her address is public information, that there might be a glitter bomb heading her way.
Oh, now see, you're on a watch list because you said bomb.
Oh, jeez.
You are too now.
Hey, I've been on it for a long time.
Yeah,
actually, Josh has too.
Tony's name is on the top.
Actually, Josh has been too, because he's been a part of the Tony and Josh show for a while. And we talk about all. He rolls his eyes every time I go political on the show.
No, I've said some things that I'm sure the current presidential administration would have certain secret services looking at me.
Alphabet agencies, yeah. So as
they're
you guys,
in a tree outside your house with binoculars right now.
Yeah, right.
how low tech. That'd be like North Korea. So so you guys know me. I'm Tony Motoroy. I don't know if Josh mentioned xjtalk.com, but that's a little forum that we got. There's also wranglertalk.com, and strangely enough, Josh and Tammy, since we've been talking about wranglertalk.com here on the podcast, more people are joining and posting, and it's almost like a little forum going on there. We've had wranglertalk.com for a number of years now, and it's really been sitting there very stagnant. And I figure it's just because we haven't had 2 or 3 people just get on there and regularly post things and interact. Get a little activity. That's the bad thing about a forum. If you have no activity, people go, well, nothing's going on here. And
they go, come back.
They go to the next site. And, they may come back to check it out. But time and time again, if there's nothing going on except people from Russia posting, coming in and with these weird names and stuff and posting things about Russian brides, it's a very limited audience for that.
Well, there's always something going on over at xjtalk.com, guys. It is an excellent resource for the new Jeeper or the veteran Jeeper. There is a lot of people over there that give great advice, and that is why we hype it up so much. Not only are we fans, but Tony is also the owner of the site. I've been a member for many, many years now. It is a place that is safe to go, guys. If you've got a question and you are honestly stuck on your project and you need advice, there is one place you need to go, and that is xjtalk.com. You are not going to get flamed. There is no such thing as a stupid question, no such thing as a question that has been asked too many times. If you need answers to your Jeep questions, go to xjtalk.com. It's where you go, not only when you're not off-road, but also when you need some answers.
Yeah, when you need a little help and don't need any grief to go along with it. So let's get to our voicemails.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hey, Josh and Tony. It's Jensen calling from Calgary. We're seeing huge job loss and lots of cuts in companies. I just wanted to see how it was affecting the users in the U.S.
Now, you can hear in the background that he's listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Yeah, he was.
But that sounds like a Tony and Josh question. So I'm not quite sure what he's referring to. It almost seems like he was referring to that $15 minimum wage, but it didn't sound specific enough to be that. So I'm not quite sure what he was asking about.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree with you there, Tony. Jensen, I'm sorry, man. I hate to do this to you, but we're going to have to ask you to call back in and maybe just elaborate a little bit. Tony and I we've said it before, just a couple of knuckleheads, and that means we're not exactly the brightest bulbs in the sign every now and again. So, by all means, call back, elaborate a little bit, or even just send us a message, and we'll go ahead and answer you in the next show.
And now we've got one from Nikki G. We need a drum roll for Nikki G.
I know. I was like, yay.
Yeah, right.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I just want to say to Steve, good call on bringing a cell phone wheeling with you, because this way if I get stuck, I can play a good game of Candy Crush while I'm waiting for help to come. I don't even get cell service when I'm standing underneath a cell tower. The only way I can get help with my phone is if I tie a note to it and throw it as far as I can. All right, guys. I will chat you later, and have a good one. Bye.
Usually when you're deep in the woods or out on the sand dunes or something like that, and you do the whole message in a bottle thing, it usually doesn't go very far.
Well, I guess at any distance is what he's saying is better than what you get on the cell phone reception or transmission. It really doesn't have anything to do with anything other than cell phone. You guys have heard about the curved cell phones and the foldable cell phones that are coming out?
I'm not about foldable. I've seen the ones that you can wrap around your wrist, or it looks like you could wrap it around your wrist.
I remember the foldable cell phones from a number of years ago. They were called flip phones.
They were called flip phones.
I'm sure this is a lot more high tech.
Yes, I'm sure that it is.
Tammy, what?
You mean the phone folds in half?
Wow, it's like Star Trek.
Let me try that with my Galaxy S5 real quick.
So, Tammy, I'm sure you got a cell phone. What do you, if you don't mind sharing with us, what kind of cell phone do you have?
I have a iPhone 5, but look at the really cool cover I have. Can you see it?
Well, let me switch over to where we can just see you. Oh yeah.
It says Jeep Mama on it.
Oh, I can tell it's an iPhone because you've got it plugged in and you're charging it because you can't change the battery.
The battery is horrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, of course it is. And they designed it where you can't change the battery or add additional memory, and that's the biggest problem I have with iPhone, other than being made by tree-hugging hippies.
They did the same thing with the new Galaxy S6.
That's not going to... I won't have one.
Nope.
I mean...
Me either.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to be like an Apple phone user where they're like crack. They're like on crack, and they had their last fix 2 days ago, and they're running around. You have an iPhone charger? You got an iPhone charger? Can I plug in there? So no, I don't want to be one of those folks. So, but if you're listening to us on the iPhone, welcome.
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
And speaking of love.
Oh, segue.
God, that's a good one, too.
She picked up on it, Josh.
Yeah, really did. Come
along, I'm
Tammy.
getting better.
Fit in just fine. Well, guys, this is part of the show where we do spread a little bit of that YouTube love, and we've got well over 800 subscribers. We're knocking on the door of 250,000 views. Keep it up by all means. We pick 4 names out of the hat each and every week just to give a little bit of shout out and show some love. Tony, who's first on our list tonight?
That's 250,000 with a B. So the first one on the list is Matthew Gilland.
And we've got Stumper 92 on the list as well.
And thanks for making me read this one, guys. Meliton Carvalhal Santa Crocky.
Well, we'll work with that. That'll do.
Yes.
And Barbara J. Ragsdale rounds out our list tonight. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, by all means, it is time to do so. And make sure you guys are telling a friend as well. Please head over to youtube.com/xjtalk.
Abso-frickin-lutely.
And Tammy, we had to, get your feet wet sooner or later.
This is Steve, 4.3LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry glass cleaner. Now, that may sound like you got to be kidding me, but I want to tell you that if you've been out on the trail in the dust and dirt and all that stuff, and your windshield's dirty on the outside and the inside, you don't need that sun staring you in the face so that you can't see the irregularities in the trail. So carry a little glass cleaner, stop and clean the glass now and then, and you'll have a much better day wheeling.
Couldn't hurt for the glasses either. If you're a wearer of glasses out there on the trail, I imagine they get pretty dusty too. Fortunately, my glasses are for reading, and I don't do no reading when I'm out on the trail.
I have gone through an entire washer reservoir of washer fluid out on a dusty day on the trails before. It just, when it gets really coated, you spray some on there, and pretty soon you've got, mud all across your windshield, and that smear smudge, and, you take some more washer fluid, and pretty soon it's running down the sides of your doors and everything. And it really is nice to just be able to stop every now and again, have an old rag or an old shop towel, something like that. Just give it a few spritzes and a nice little wipe down, and saves the washer fluid and keeps you going down the trail.
Well, now let's play. Idea. Yeah, now let's play our very expensive promo intro for the Wrangler Talk with Jeep Mama. Oh, wait a minute, we don't have one. Sorry, Tammy.
It is like a work in progress.
That's not fair.
Anyway, well, we have high hopes for one, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Yes, and eventually we will be getting that production going and getting a couple more intros and outros for segments that we have added and are adding.
Well, I do have this. And now
Wrangler Talk.
I'm really glad that you didn't go with the pig squeal. That would have been just offensive on so many layers.
I couldn't find that one earlier. Okay, anyway, so here we go with Tammy and Wrangler Talk. Tammy, what you got for us tonight?
Well, as you guys know, for the past, couple of weeks, I guess, I've been talking about the road salt and the nasty, grimy yuck that's been on my Rubicon, and how I'm just tired of winter, and I just can't wait to get the top down and get, out on the trails again. So I'm going to be talking about my Jeep maintenance. Now, I know I've talked to you about, washing it and the things I do to keep my Jeep clean, and waxing and clay bar, which I went out and bought my clay bar kit. And so once it warms up, I'm going to work on that. But my other thing that I'm doing is my rust maintenance. Now, as you know, I had a shackle stolen, and I got that replaced. And when I replaced it, I noticed I had some rust on the bumper. And I know my Jeep's not a rust bucket, and it was just like a little minuscule rust. But, I want to take care of my Jeep, and I think everybody needs to take care of their Jeeps to make them last long. And so I've been searching around on how to take care of the rust and what to do to keep it away. And also the undercarriage, the skid plates are starting to rust up. And, I've only had my Jeep since, Halloween of last year, and I've only gone out trail riding twice. But also the underneath already is just full of streaks of rust. And I know it's just surface rust, but I still want to take care of it and maintain it. And so what I've been doing is, first I went to the auto store and I asked the people there, what should I do? And mind you, these are people who, probably have no idea what they're talking about. But they suggested this. It's made by Napa and Permatex. It's a heavy duty rubberized undercoating. So I bought this first, and then I decided, before I do anything with this, I should go online and ask some folks. And apparently, you can use it, but it is kind of, it foams up and it takes a while to harden, and it gets really hard, and the look is just not very cool. So I think I'm going to skip this. And actually, when you do spray it, it starts dripping, and I don't need that all over. So then the Jeep folks suggested that I first sand the rust, and you don't necessarily have to sand it, but you can also use just a wire brush. And then what I started out with is this rust treatment by Permatex. And I just got this at the local auto store, and I just sprayed this on, and I waited 24 hours. And actually, you don't need to do anything else, because my bumper, even though I sandpapered it and you could still see the silver, this rust treatment, made it look like nothing had happened. But what I'm going to do next is use the semi-flat Krylon Rust Tough Enamel Black Spray Paint. And so I'll spray that on. And I also have been told to keep your undercarriage safe. You can do those same things to maintain it. But also before salt season starts, a lot of people spend thousands of dollars on undercoating. Some people suggest many different things, but I am told that this stuff, fluid film, it's a powerful rust and corrosive protection works phenomenally. So that's what I'm going to do. Once I take care of the rust and, do the rust treatment, then I'm going to spray my undercarriage with this, and I'll probably do it again before salt season starts. So that's what I suggest that you do is take care of your Jeep, get rid of the rust, and happy trails.
Excellent. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I heard salt season, it just sounded like, made me a little hungry. I'm thinking popcorn, maybe some bacon.
You're thinking seasoning salt.
Salt season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I had it backwards. Maybe I'm dyslexic.
Yeah. I'm partially dyslexic. Yes, I can relate.
Well, I know, Tony, you don't have to worry much about that road salt as much as you do up here.
No.
And we use some sort of fancy tree-hugging ultra-green de-icer material that I have no idea what it's made out of.
How much tree-hugging is salt? I mean, how much more natural is salt? I mean, come on.
Well, this
they add a corrosive brine or I don't know, some chemical to it too, especially the ones, there's a different salt for the highways and there's a different salt for in town, but the ones on the highways is like extremely more corrosive.
I guess so. I mean, you got commercial traffic on there and that might be why they do that. So, Tammy, I know you held up the various things, but why don't you hold those things up closer to the camera and so people can see what it was you were using, and I'll let you know about where you need to hold it.
This is the fluid film, and I got this on Amazon, and it's like $10 a can, and it was suggested that I get 4 cans should do the undercoating of JK.
I'm sorry, hold that one up a little higher. We got a good shot of the cap. Down a little bit. There you go. All right.
Anyway, I have a 4-door, so I have a longer wheelbase. So if you have a 2-door, you might not need 4 cans. And then this is the rust treatment, and I think this works fabulous.
That's Permatex. I kind of
Napa.
Picked up on their Permatex logo. We all know Permatex here.
Right. Well, I'm just been introduced to all this stuff. This is all new to me. And it's fun.
When I say we know Permatex, they do a lot of things to put on. What do you call that? The ATF, for sealers and things. That's what we know them from. I'm sorry. Show that last one again, please.
Okay, this is just the spray paint. I just went to Home Depot and got it because this is the same black that my Jeep is, and like the bumpers and when they power coat stuff, this is apparently the same black that they use. So this works well too.
And, I'm sorry, I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but Tammy has all kinds of pictures and details over on her blog about what she did. And I know you'll snicker when you see the rust because it has to do with the D-ring moving around and causing a little bit of the paint to come off inside the hole. So it's not much rust.
I was washing my Jeep, when you wash it's best to wash by hand because then you can inspect your Jeep. And you can see where all this rust is. I found some more rust, and it's on the corner of my bumper. And it's just a little smidgen, but, it looks so much nicer now.
I would be really surprised. I mean, this Jeep isn't even a year old yet, so I'd really be surprised if you hit any rust anywhere else. Of course, I've never been up in the Northeast or the Northwest where it's snowy and they use a lot of salt. Maybe the rust could happen that quickly. But you're right. You do need to keep a handle on it now is a lot better than 5 years from now when you see something major.
Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll take some pictures of my skid plates and show you. It's nasty under there, and it's
I don't doubt it.
November, December, January, February, March, 5 months.
Yeah, but
old.
You've run those across rocks, so it's you're going to cover those with something, aren't you? You're going to spray some bed liner or something on it.
Yeah, I'll do this rust treatment stuff, and then I'm told this fluid film is supposed to work.
Oh, okay.
So people swear by it. Protects all metals. It's lanolin based, easy to apply. So we'll see.
All right. Well, great Wrangler Talk segment. Thank you. And now it's time for a little segment we like to call Campfireside Chat.
Well, I'd like to get to the reviews first, Tony, but we can do that later.
Damn it. I was thinking there was something else was on there. Hey, well, let's do reviews by the campfire. Nothing more friendly than that.
Right. Now, typically our reviews are coming from iTunes or Stitcher Radio, but tonight we've got something a little bit different. Now, we have been promoting our YouTube channel for years, guys, and of course, we've even dedicated an entire segment to it. Well, tonight's reviews actually came from our YouTube audience, and we'd like to encourage you guys to continue that trend as well. Now, don't forget, we still have our iTunes account. We'd love for you guys to head over there, and Stitcher Radio. By all means, leave us a 5-star review and a comment if you would be so kind, and we read those comments on the air. Now, some of them have been constructive criticism, some of them have been some excellent pats on the back, and some others just saying hi. We've got a couple tonight from our YouTube audience, and it looks like the same guy we had he chimed in about a week ago, and then about 3 days ago. That we got some feedback from this person, and it's Fabio Lully. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. A week ago, he says, "Thanks for the show. My name is Fabio. I hear your show on YouTube every week. I'm from Venezuela. I drive a 98 XJ, lifted 4.5 inches with a rough country lift kit. Nice show. Keep doing it." Well, thank you very much, Fabio. We appreciate that feedback. He was so kind. He went ahead and gave us another review just a few days ago. Says, "Hi, good podcast. I had good time hearing it. This time I only have a comment to Josh. He said there are no front Dana 44 originally installed on XJs. In Venezuela, all the XJs assembled here came with the Dana 44, front and rear, but you can still buy a Rubicon. Ha ha ha. Best regards, Fabio."
That's what I was remembering. I knew there was a front Dana 44, but it was never in this country.
See, that's just it. Is the U.S. never gets any of the good stuff. We don't get the diesels. We don't get the front Dana 44s on the stock. And of course, getting one here, you might as well buy a Rubicon because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to have one of those axle assemblies shipped over here.
I wonder if Fabio could hook us up with a Dana 44 and some butter. You get the butter reference?
Yes.
I'm Fabio. I can't believe this is not butter.
Not.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Tammy. My sentiments exactly. No.
Well, that's a little more recent than some of the other stuff I come up with, right? I mean, that's only about 15 years old.
Yeah.
Some of those timely references, indeed. No, but Fabio, thank you very much. We appreciate the feedback, and by all means, keep watching, keep listening, and please tell a friend. And that goes double for the rest of you out there. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, youtube.com/xjtalk.
Wow, it's so strange to see you do that announcer-type voice right here by the fire, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, wait till I get a few beers in me. You'll hear all kinds of voices.
No, never mind. Anyway.
Moving right along.
So last week,
Josh,
guys, I was talking
tell us about your frame.
Yeah, I was talking about a Dana 44 swap, and I've kind of moved on from that. I'm putting that on the back burner for now, but there's something that I've got to take care of first and foremost, because I've had a set of Ironman 4x4 long arms for almost a year now, and the only thing I'm missing is a cross section, or the center section, the cross member that they would bolt to. Now, Ironman Andy on his website promotes the Rubicon Express kit, which is a two-part kit.
Beautiful.
And it is a true 3-piece design, meaning you can take out the center section and work on your transmission or transfer case if you need to, unlike some of the other cross members out there that your long arms would bolt to, which are not removable unless you remove the entire thing, control arms and all.
Now,
that's not exactly something I want to do.
I have seen people actually make it like it was the rough country long arm kit. I've actually, and I think somebody posted on XJ Talk where they actually made it removable, where they would bolt onto the sides of the frame or the unibody, and fixed it where they could remove that center section, but that's not the way it was designed. So yeah, the Rubicon one is, the Rubicon Express one is just beautiful. It's a nice belly pan too.
It really is pretty, but it's also got so many pieces to it. There is a lot of pieces to that kit, and a lot of it is bolt-on. And although that's all fine and dandy, I really didn't want to do a long arm kit on my Jeep with a non-removable center section, or one that had so many pieces. I like the whole KISS aspect of it. Keep it simple, stupid. And this one, there's been a couple that I was looking at center section wise that were a lot more simple. Tammy, I heard you try and chime in there for a second.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Okay. Everybody keeps talking about long arm, and I've always been afraid to ask, but why? What is?
Okay,
it's really expensive.
Is it
and it really looks cool.
And it's what?
It comes down to suspension geometry and how the control arms work and how the suspension cycles through its motion, its range of motion, and how that the vibration and shock and everything else transfers back through the suspension into the rest of the vehicle. With a steep control arm angle, all of that shock from hitting a pothole or a large rock or something is transmitted almost, the steeper the angle, that shock is getting transmitted straight up back into the vehicle. Well, if you have a straight or a flat control arm like they were when they were stock, before the vehicle was lifted, that vibration and shock is transmitted through the suspension. The suspension takes all the work out of it, as it were, and you don't feel the vibration or the harsh ride, as it were.
Yeah, it makes the ride a lot smoother, like it was when it was stock. So
when you
what kind of lift do you have now? How big is your lift?
My lift is about 5.5 inches, but a 5.5 inch lift on a Wrangler is, massive compared to a 5.5 inch lift on a Cherokee. So, we're comparing apples to oranges here a little bit, but the physics remain the same. Steep control arm angles limit your flex. They move your axles inward, shifting it depending on what you're doing with your track bar, but also give you a very harsh ride. And it's not ideal for off-road use. Now, there's a number of ways to combat that with things like a long arm kit or drop brackets to drop the mounting location of the control arms, thus reducing their angle and bringing it back down flat a little bit more. Now, that was an option I had thought about going, but I came across a screaming deal on the Ironman Andy, the Ironman 4x4fab.com long arm kit, and I couldn't pass it up. So I got that kit knowing that eventually I was going to have to get a center section. Well, the thing is my center section, the cross member that I want to use, I'm going to be using a Clayton cross member, and it's a 3-piece section. There are only 3 pieces to it versus the 27 or 32 pieces that come in the Rubicon kit.
And 612 screws.
Right, exactly. And it's going to be all weld on, and that's fine because I wasn't going to do long arms on my Jeep without stiffening up the unibody as well. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to be doing a full cage, at least not at this point. So the very first step, the ideal solution, are frame stiffeners. Now, frame stiffeners, we all know, aren't really, they're not called the right thing exactly. They're more like unibody reinforcement plates.
Yeah, you're making the unibody thicker and making it more like a frame, just simply because it doesn't have as much flex. Let me jump in there real quick before we get too far from it. Also, too, Tammy, the long arms, they're basically a lot longer than the standard control arms, and in most cases, I believe the upper control arms are actually attached to the long control arms. What basically that does is when you're off-road, it allows your tire, your wheel, that whole side to drop much further down. So it allows you, if you're coming off rocks, whereas, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Josh, because I've never done rocks, but when you're coming off a rock, if the rock is too high and your wheel drops too far, you can actually roll your Jeep because that Jeep is not touching the ground. Where with a long arm, I
almost did my first time off-roading.
It's fun. But with a long arm, it allows that wheel to drop more and allow the suspension to work. Now, of course, if the spring is not in the perch, you're still going to drop, and you always have a potential of rolling. But it allows more contact. You want the wheels on the ground. And if you've ever seen, I know people are going to love me for this, if you've ever seen a trail chicken go off-road, the wheels are up in the air because it doesn't have suspension to allow it to drop. So the long arms basically allow it to drop a lot further. And the cool thing about Wranglers, you can put long arms front and rear. You can do it with a Cherokee, but it's a lot more work. So you can actually really have this thing very articulated off-road and keeping 4 wheels on the ground almost all the time.
Now, I'm gonna just put one little thing on here on top of that, Tony. The kind of long arm system that you were talking about is called a radius arm setup, and there are 3 types of long arm systems. There is a true 4-link long arm setup, and by links we mean control arms. Mm-hmm. You have 2 upper control arms and 2 lower control arms, and these mount to the body and then in turn mount to the axle, keeping it in place. And the 4-link obviously has 4 control arms. There's a 3-link version. We see that very common with like the Iron Rock Off-Road. Critical Path, I believe, is the name of their kit. BDS has a 4-link. There's many manufacturers out there that offer long arm kits. Now, the one like Ironman 4x4 and like Rough Country, ones like that, those are a radius arm setup where the upper control arms attach to the lower control arm a little farther back. And that's what keeps the caster of the axle in place, or the pinion angle locks it into position. Because if you only had if you only had like a 2-link system, well, there's nothing there that really kind of keeps that axle from rotating under itself.
Now, that is a 4-link, and what you have is a 4-link, right?
Technically it's a 4-link because you do have 4 mounting points on the axle, but there are only 2 that mount to the body itself, and that's what is referred to as a radius arm setup.
I thought the 4 links were all like that. The little Y, if you would, because you have the long bar and then you have the 2 short bars attached to the long one.
Well, there's I know that BDS is one of them. I think that back in the day, Rubicon Express had one. There was one other manufacturer I don't think is around anymore that back in the day had a 4-link system for the Cherokee that had longer control arms. Now, this kind of put it into the category of a mid-arm versus a true long arm, because the arms were shorter than what we traditionally see as a long arm kit. But
that's interesting. I didn't know about that, and I would think that would limit the travel of the suspension. It's just really cool.
It does, and same thing with a radius arm setup. A 3-link is actually going to flex a little bit more than a radius arm or a 4-link
from
setup,
side to side,
because
right?
you don't. Well, because you don't have that binding action. Jesse did a really good version of explaining how suspension geometry works with 4-link and 3-link setups. And there is a binding issue, and we get into some serious geometry here that is really hard to explain over radio or podcast without the use of a whiteboard and stuff like that. And I'm not going to get into the kind of
we got sidetracked enough.
I
just found it interesting. I had no idea that there was actually a long arm setup that didn't have the upper control arms attached to the long arm. So that's interesting. I'll have to look that up.
So again, the whole reason why I'm going with this is because I wanted to add frame stiffeners to the Jeep. Now, there are 3 big frame stiffener manufacturers out there: TNT, Rough Stuff, and HD Off-Road Engineering. And they all kind of offer a little bit different flavor of the same thing. Now, the TNT and the Rough Stuff come in 3/16-inch steel. And this is basically a big, giant U-channel that you push up against your frame and you weld to, and by frame I mean the big unibody channels underneath the Jeep, and you essentially weld this 3/16-inch steel channel onto that unibody channel, creating a pseudo frame, more or less. If you guys have ever been in the rocks and really twisted your Jeep up, and you're in a position where you needed to get out or you need to get in the back, you'll notice that it's kind of hard to open the doors sometimes, or the back gate doesn't want to open or close the right way. That's because the unibody is literally twisted up, and that flex in the Jeep is just transferred back into the rest of the unibody, and it's twisting up. Well, frame stiffeners help reduce that, and in a lot of times even eliminate it altogether. Now, there's each of these companies, their frame stiffeners, they have different levels of kits as well. In fact, HD Off-Road Engineering actually has a $330 kit that plates the entire front bumper, back from the front bumper clear back to the rear bumper.
Oh, wow.
On the entire frame. And it's a 3-piece kit. Each side is a 3-piece kit. You get one for the front, one for the middle, and one for the rear, and it completely plates the entire unibody frame. Now, you obviously get what you pay for, because the other ones are about $130, $160 roughly or so, well under $200 shipped either way, but they really only take care of the center section, but they offer a larger gauge of steel. The TNT and the Rough Stuff come in 3/16. The HD Off-Road Engineering is 10-gauge steel, which equals out to about 134 thousandths. 3/16 is 0.1875. This is 0.1345. You guys do the math. It's about 50 thousandths of an inch difference. We're talking less than 1/16 of an inch of steel thickness here. And is that going to be a deal breaker? Well, some people say yes. Some people say no. Really, it comes down to fitment and ease of installation and what you get with that installation. Now, the HD Off-Road Engineering has a lot of rosette holes in it, which give you the ability to weld to that frame right through that versus just a few beads here and there. Now, I know that the Detours USA makes a combination rock slider and stiffener setup. Tony, you have that on your Jeep. It's a great system as well. they're just going to show you guys that there is a lot of stuff out there when it comes to frame stiffeners, and you want to do your research and really look into them and talk with the companies. These people love to explain their products to people. So give them a call and ask them questions. If you want to know a little bit more about it, you could always post up a question at XJ Talk as well. And myself and other people will do our best to answer whatever questions you may have about this.
Now, I'll mention...
So, Josh, is
yes,
the frame stiffener, that's just a Cherokee thing, right? That wouldn't be a Wrangler thing.
Because all the Wranglers are body on frame. They already have a true frame. Now, there are different things out there that fabricators do to reinforce the frame of a Wrangler, to ladder box it in, add some more reinforcement and stuff like that. But these are kits that are specific to the Cherokees. And it's pretty much any Cherokee, guys, except for the new Cherokee, which really shouldn't be off-road anyways.
Now, I mentioned not yet because there is talk, and I'm sure it's going to happen eventually, about the Wrangler going to a unibody design.
Yeah.
And when
say it.
I agree with you. And when that happens, then you'll see these frame stiffeners coming out for the Wranglers that
most likely
for the people that want to take them off road and use them for what they were designed for. But now I don't know this for certain. This is something Mark has mentioned to me in passing over at DetoursUSA.com. He has said that he's no longer going to be making the sliders, and they came in three different flavors, and you could just get the frame stiffeners if you wanted to. But if you can get frame stiffeners with integrated sliders, I mean that's a tough thing to have on there, because it's not just bolted onto the the frame or unibody. It's welded to it. So, and the cool thing about the Mark sliders was it's this nice big rectangular boxed tubing, I guess you would call it, and it is like 6 plugs, I think, on each side that hold it to the unibody. So you could literally drill those plugs out, take off those sliders, and put it on your next Cherokee in case you rolled it or whatever. Whereas I believe the TNT stiffeners are very much a mini weld situation, but they do go around the entire channel. Whereas the Detour sliders or frame stiffeners don't; they just go to the side. And I think what Mark apparently this was used in drag racing to try to stiffen up the frames or the unibodies of vehicles. When you put a lot of horsepower to the rear end, it has a tendency to twist the whole body.
Yeah,
so you need to strengthen the unibody or the frame to keep the thing together, depending on how many thousands of horsepower you were running. Anyway, just found that interesting, and if you call Mark, you can probably beg him into making you a set. I think Matt Smorenberg, I believe the comment is that this was the last set he was making for Matt Smorenberg. He's building a set of slider frame stiffeners for Matt. And I will mention, Matt did weld on the TNT stiffeners on his prior XJ that he had, the one that he sold to Dalton.
Oh, okay.
So he's actually done the whole installation deal on that. And
there are several write-ups out there, guys. I know that Cherokee Forum, there was a user there that ended up doing a very pick-heavy, step-by-step instruction write-up of the installation of these. Now, guys, these aren't anything that you can bolt up. These do require fabrication skills. And this isn't something that you can do in a day. I mean, you probably could if you had help, but we're looking at easily an 8 to 16-hour job. We're talking about a weekend-long project, and you will need a welder, and you will need to kind of know what you're doing
and a flapper
when it comes
wheel
to this.
And a grinder.
Oh, yeah,
so
there's going to be a lot of prep work.
I should not be doing that on my own.
No,
well, you know,
have a Cherokee. So.
I think you could do anything you want to. Well, you know, it takes a lot longer when you've never done it before, because you got to spend a lot of time thinking about asking questions and so on and so forth. But no, Tammy, I think that anybody can do this stuff. I don't think that the only thing that holds us back is our ability to believe in ourselves, frankly.
That's true.
So anyway, let's. Josh, did you have anything else? Tammy, did you have anything else? Otherwise,
I just want to quick, because I told you guys last week that one of my followers sent me a gift, and it was purple, and it was for my Rubicon.
Right.
And
what did you get?
It's. Do you know what this is?
It's
vinyl.
It's a banana holder.
And it's purple, and it's shock covers. It's for looks, but I'm debating on whether I should put these on because what I've read is they fill up with ook, and they could, dirt and mud and salt, and so. But I think I'm going to put them on just to see how they look, and then maybe after a while, like open them up and see if there is anything in there.
Hell,
but they come with little.
You can clean them out every so often. I like them. I don't have them on mine. Whenever I first got my lift, I had blue ones, even though I ordered red. Damn it! Mine
are
like
red,
them.
and it.
Yeah, I like that because it just gives a little more flair to the vehicle, and I know that turns some of your Jeepers stomachs. It's not supposed to be fancy or anything like that.
It's too much bling.
But I like that. I mean, also too, you got to keep in mind when you're rolling around in your nice Jeep, whether it's on or off road, especially the folks that aren't real Jeepers, they're just looking. You may be enticing people to become Jeepers simply because you have such a nice rig.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just get tired of seeing there's like a gazillion black Rubicon or black Wranglers out there. Not all Rubicons, but they all look the same.
Yeah.
And I have to be different. So.
Well, the purple's a nice choice. It's a good combination. You could have gone with any combination with black, but
right.
The bright green, the fluorescent green, or
I've seen that.
Even red and black looks good.
Yeah, I've got black ones on my Jeep. I didn't want to do anything too terribly bright or colorful like that. I was going for a pretty simple color scheme on my Jeep, so I got black ones.
Yeah, it's like when I asked you what color your D-rings were, Josh. What color did you paint your D-rings? He's still embarrassed by that question.
Mine look really, really cool. I like them.
Well, and I like that. I mean, I painted mine red. My wife's Jeep has red D-rings, and she never uses hers, so hers will stay nice and nice and bright and red for a very long time, I'm sure. Well, until one or more gets stolen.
Right.
I did have a story. I did have a story I wanted to share with you guys, but I think we're running a little bit long, so I want to save that story for next week, and I'm just going to tease it for next week, guys, because already it's a couple weeks back that it was our last Amazon You Bought What segment, the one, I think it was episode 169, maybe 168, I can't remember. Anyways, it was one before the last one, and Tony had a Spectre product in his Amazon You Bought What lineup, and it reminded me of a story and an instance that I had, a Spectre story that I wanted to share with you guys. And some of you who are familiar with my build thread already know about this, and I think I told it in an interview way back when I very first joined XJ Talk, but I want to revisit that story because it was somewhat relevant, and I figured it'd be a good story for around the campfire.
I think you could have told it by now.
No, there's going to be lots of questions, and
okay.
There's.
We'll look forward to that.
Peel back the layers on that.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that next week. I'm trying to remember back to the interview now. I've forgotten. All right, well, good.
This is Steve, 4.3LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. If you can, get yourself a ham radio. Now, I know Tony and Josh are going to like this, but they can be handy, and they can be a lifesaver. If you're out in the woods someplace with no cell reception, you may be able to get out with your ham radio and call for help. And not to mention, it's a fun hobby for some people, too.
I'll mention a quick Jeep tip. Take a roll of Lifesavers with you. It can feed you while you're waiting to be rescued for the next day. So now let's get over to our Jeep Mama review. We're not actually reviewing Jeep Mamas, but Jeep Mama has something to review. Tammy, what you got this week?
Well, it was my first modification I made, and it's the Barricade HD Trail Force bumper.
The rusty
and
one.
The rusty bumper, yes. The reason I went with this, actually, it's not that rusty. I'm just a little OCD. But the reason I decided to go with this is because everyone said that really your first thing should be, modification should be something to do, with recovery. So I looked around and I decided to go with this. It's a middle of the road price range bumper, but it's a simple and easy install. Like what did Josh? I think you called it KISS. Keep it simple and forgot what the other
Keep it
S
simple,
word was.
stupid.
But anyway,
Yeah.
simple, stupid. Yes. And that's what I needed because I never did anything like this before, but it was a super easy install. Actually, the most difficult part was removing the old stock bumper. So the install was really easy, and that's one of the reasons I bought it. I didn't need to weld it on. I just needed to remove bolts and reapply bolts. But one of the most difficult parts for me was the wiring. Imagine that. Anyway, the wires, you just put the old fog lights into the new the bumper, but there wasn't enough wire for it to reach the other side. So you kind of had to take the wires out of the wire harness and kind of maneuver it around. But it just took a little bit where you had to sit and look at it for a while. My husband was going to go out and just get some new wires and just snip them and rewire it. But after a while, you figure it out. You just have to move it around part of the frame. So anyway, it's a super easy install. It's not super expensive, but it's not one of the cheaper bumpers. And it's made of heavy duty 5 and 32 inch. How do you say that? Why can't I say it now? Steel, 2-inch by 0.120 inch tubing. It came with high strength D-rings. Well, unfortunately, one of my D-rings got stolen, so I had one high strength D-ring. And it comes with the D-ring mounts. It's 9,500 pound rated D-rings. And actually it was the high strength D-ring mounts, and it's the 9,500 pound D-rings were included, which I only have one now. It has a built-in winch plate of up to 12,000 pounds, which that will be one of my next. It's on my list of things that I want. It had the OE size fog light housing. It was 2-stage textured black powder coat finish. It weighed 79 pounds, and this was another thing that was important to me. And everybody has their own wants and needs, and that's where you need to research your stuff yourself. But I didn't want a lot of heavy stuff on my Jeep. So to know how it would affect my Jeep, my youngest son weighs about 75 pounds, so I had him stand on my old bumper, and it didn't do anything. So I knew this would be a good bumper for me. And it fits 07 to 15 Wranglers, and it has a 3-year limited warranty. So it was a simple, easy install. It's great price, and it looks awesome. And the only thing was the wiring. And actually, if you go on YouTube, there are some videos where people explain how to redo the wires. But I'm sure most knowledgeable people could figure it out. So I love it.
Excellent.
So, Tammy, I noticed is the front bumper or the rear bumper?
Oh, yes. Excuse me. It's the front bumper.
Okay. Yeah, I was doing some Google searching for the Barricade HD Trail Force bumper. A lot of very cool looking bumpers out there from these guys as well. But I saw both a front and a rear. So I was just had to clarify on that. Now, the images that I'm seeing make this thing look like it's a fairly substantial bumper. I mean, this thing looks beefy. I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it is. It covers the whole. It's not one of those stubby ones, but it goes all the way across. It's 80 pounds.
But in an attractive price tag, you said about $389, $390, under $400. I imagine there was probably some shipping as well that you had to be taken care of. But that's you're right, about a middle of the road bumper. Now there are lesser bumpers out there. There's bigger, larger bumpers and stuff out there too. One thing that I want to tell people out there, and Tammy, you may or may not know this about as well, but there's some terminology out there I want you guys to be aware of when you're looking at bumper shopping, and that is approach angle and departure angles. And these are the clearance that you have. What is the angle the Jeep will have as you approach an obstacle? How much clearance do you have, and what angle does the Jeep have to get at in order to clear that obstacle? These bumpers look fairly large. I wouldn't expect to see something like this on a competition rock crawler. But then again, Tammy, you're not really getting into that kind of thing. So I would say that you chose very, very well as far as, the type of wheeling that you do, the kind of look that you're going for and stuff like that. And these are good looking bumpers. But just to be aware, guys, when you're out there bumper shopping and stuff like that, consider the type of wheeling that you're going to be getting into and the direction that you're going with your build. and think about approach and departure angles and how your Jeep is going to perform when coming up to a steep obstacle or coming off of a steep obstacle in the case of a rear bumper.
Yeah, because you'll scratch up a bumper big time, which may not be a concern. I mean, that is what they're there for. But I was very much interested in an ARB bumper before I actually got into actually getting a bumper, because it's a nice big beefy bumper. But it was that issue about the approach and departure angle that whenever Mark over at Detours USA actually built the bumper that I had sketched out for him to do, he actually made it a much more thinner, if you will. It's not as long. And the reason is that whenever you pull up to a rock, do you want to have to push your bumper up and over that rock, or do you want to get the tire on the rock and get it up and, not have to have that additional momentum, that additional barrier to keep you from getting up and over the rocks? So, Tammy, this might become an issue for you depending on how aggressive you get with the rocks in the future. And again, that's what the bumper's made for. It's made to protect the rest of the vehicle. So just be aware that you may be scraping that up on rocks or a Prius if they cut you off.
And I'll be using that rust treatment a lot.
Yeah. But
and I just want to mention too that I had free shipping. So if you shop around too, there's a lot of places that offer free shipping if you spend a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Very good when it comes to buying a bumper, because those things can be heavy.
A quick follow-up question for you on this bumper, Tammy. When do you plan on getting a winch, and how long down the road do you think that's going to be?
I have to save money for that.
Are you out of Legos yet?
Yeah, I have. Pardon?
Are you out of Legos yet?
Yes, we packed the Legos away. We did sell some Pokemon cards though, and I got $54 for 9 Pokemon cards the other day.
Wow! Whiz. I'm making fun of the Lego purchase or the Lego sales, and she's actually making $54 off of cards.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get the rear bumper, the matching rear bumper. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So
that is
somebody's sending that to you, aren't they?
Bumper.
Yeah, they're talking about Extreme Terrain's talking about sending me that the rear bumper with the tire carrier to test that out and do install. And I think I might do I wish I would have thought of this before when I did the bumper and the sliders, is to do some install videos, because
you could always take it off and
doing that.
You can always take it off and put it back on, Tammy.
Yeah, I guess I could.
And a great way to get out and enjoy the weather.
And you could clean and you could do a proper cleaning of that bumper if you took it off.
Exactly, because oh my gosh, I went underneath it and I was laying under there, and you can look behind the bumper and it's just nasty, filthy. So I might get this what do you call it? The cleaning spray, and get in there with my rag and clean it. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
I could have so much fun with her. Just, hey, look, it's dirty over here.
You missed a spot.
I missed a spot.
Yeah, but I'm an ass, as my wife tells me. So there we go. Well, Tammy, great segment. Thank you very much. And let's move along here to Wheeling Where with Josh. Strangely enough, he's already here with us.
Yeah, what do you know? Live via Skype satellite, coming to you from the Great Northwest. This is where we talk about what events are coming up in your guys' neck of the woods and around the nation. I got a few events here for you guys. The Jeep Jamboree USA presents the 22nd annual Cajun Jeep Jamboree. They've been doing this for 21 years, guys, soon to be 22. So you guys wanted to check this one out. It's your opportunity to conquer stunning trails which cross deep ravines, wind around sandy beaches, and carve through heavily forested areas. The region is sparsely populated and very densely wooded, offering spectacular plants and wildlife. Sure to be an amazing adventure going down April 30th through May 2nd in St. Francisville, Louisiana. If you want information on this, please contact Aaron Lara at Aaron@jeepjam.com. That's Aaron with an E, ERIN @jeepjam.com. The We Rock World Extreme Rock Crawling Championship Series is coming back April 25th and the 26th at Roush Creek Off-Road Park in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. For more information, please go to werocklive.com. That's WE rocklive.com. And our one and only John, pre-runner 1982, hosting, his fourth year now in a row of the Day of Dirt Adventure, happening Saturday, April 11th. He already has something like 120 vehicles lined up for this thing. Absolutely huge. Going down Oklahoma, historic old Route 66, I believe. If you want more information on this and you want to get involved, please contact John at, you can either PM him over at XJ Talk using his username, prerunner1982, or email him at prerunner1982@yahoo.com.
John,
that's it for this week, guys. If you want an event, if you've got an event coming up in your area, let's get the word out. Whether it's a show and shine, a cruise in, a club run, fundraiser, or a huge event like the Easter Jeep Safari, let us know by giving us a call or send us an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
John doesn't want to hear from you. He's got enough people to feed.
Hey, the World Extreme Rock Crawling Championship. That's where I go off-roading.
Oh, at
yeah,
Ross
Roush Creek.
Roush
That is going to be
Creek,
a lot of fun. This is definitely a spectator event, guys. These are very highly tuned, purpose-built off-road vehicles. This is competition rock crawling at its best. You definitely want to check this out. We Rock. Check it out. WeRockLive.com. A lot of cool stuff happening with that event.
And unfortunately, I won't be in it this year.
Oh,
that was a joke.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, right. Quitter.
No, I won't be participating.
We need to get a film crew out there, and that'd be some great XJ Talk Show footage.
Yeah, going to be a lot of Jeep and off-road fans out there at Roush Creek that weekend.
Well, that's a show, and we usually say that at the end of the show, and that's where we are. So I just want to thank you guys for being here, especially our live audience. My goodness, we had quite a lively chat room tonight, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you need to come visit us over at www.xjtalk.com every 10 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, so you can be here for the live show and join in the chat room and crack wise with the rest of these can I say knuckleheads about somebody else?
Yeah, these individuals. That's right, guys. We do broadcast the show live as we record it live every Thursday, 10 p.m. Central at xjtalkshow.com. You can check us out at our YouTube channel as well, where we all simulcast this program, youtube.com/xjtalk. All happening every Thursday, 10 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, please check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/xjtalk.page. We are on the Twitter, as Tony would say, at XJTalk. Make sure you include us in your other tweets, hashtag XJTalkShow. And we, of course, guys, we are all over the web. Stitcher Radio, TuneIn.com, iTunes. I already told you about our YouTube channel. And if you don't know already, xjtalkshow.com is where it's all going down. Our entire show archive there for your listening pleasure, 100% free. You can go back and listen clear to episode number 1.
Don't do it.
That is a doozy, let me tell you.
Don't do it.
And don't forget, guys, you can be a part of the show as well. I've told you we've had a 3rd seat open for a while. Tammy is sitting in that right now. We've got a 4th seat open. It could be for you. We want to know about your recent wheeling adventure, or for maybe set you up with an interview to talk about what stage of your build you're in with your Jeep. So by all means, get in touch with us, guys. Leave us a voicemail, 24/7 voicemail line. Nobody's going to answer. 530-675-4102. Call that 24/7, drunk or sober, doesn't matter.
Drunk.
Nobody's going to answer that, but we will play that voicemail on the air.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Josh, because we haven't been pushing the 3rd seat open thing here for a while. I think we were all excited about Tammy joining us, and it certainly didn't want to give the impression that we didn't want more help. There's always room on this show for you guys to pitch in. We've got Steve doing the Jeep tips. We've got Pre-Runner doing the radio comm text. You guys can call in a segment. You can actually do a segment for us. We'll make room on the show for that because, well, frankly, our goal is to have no audience. It all to be staff. We want everybody to be on the show. Seriously, be part of the show.
Guys, keep listening and make sure you guys are telling a friend about the show. We appreciate it.
Oh, and Tammy, where can people find you again?
www.jeepmomma.com.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
See ya.
Hey folks, I'm Clyde and this is Tommy from the Pops Boys House. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show with Tony and Josh. Cheers!
Gonna have to get those guys to redo one with Tammy in there. Like they need another excuse to drink a Pabst.
Alrighty. Well, that was a fun show. It was a little loose, but it was fun. Oh, good. Tammy's back. When the show was over, she got up and left, and I was thinking maybe she was not coming back. She's got a squeaky chair, so I had to mute her. You're back on now, Tammy.
Yeah. Sorry, my son has some allergy issues, and he was looking for some medicine.
Oh man, I feel his pain.
The oak pollen, I think, it has been really, really bad down here. Now, I don't have any allergies, but I hear from the people that do, and it's not good. I was behind a minivan today, and it was mostly yellow because of all the pollen.
Yep. Hang on one more second. I'll be right back.
All right. Oh man, somebody's cooking something downstairs. I smell something. Let's see. I knew we didn't have time while the music was going, but I was going to do a shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'll just do that now. We got the Paps Boys. We've got Steve, 4.3 LXJ, who may or may not still be there. Let's see. Josh, of course. Jeep Boss. Jeep Boss has been there before, right?
Yeah, I've been, I think this is 3 or 4 weeks in a row now.
Okay. I just don't get the chance to see the chat room very much, working all this stuff on my side and then trying to, put words together.
I'm pretty active in there, unless I'm, in the midst of a segment. I'm on there quite a bit, so interacting with the audience.
So there's Chris, ribbed banana sleeve. See, I said that on purpose because I thought it was a really strange picture that I saw online of a banana carrier. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is one of those curveballs from the Amazon segment, but no, they actually make this little thing that looked a lot like that sleeve that Tammy showed that you can put your banana in, and a piece of fruit, a banana. You can put that in there and put it in your lunchbox, and now you don't have to worry about a bruised or smashed banana. So I just thought it looked really strange, and I posted that picture up on Twitter, and Tammy responded with, well, I can't remember now. It was like, not that's rude, but that's just so wrong. Yeah, that's so wrong. It just looked funny. So I was giving her a hard time, flashing, see if I could do a flashback with that image that I posted with the banana joke, and she maintained, or she didn't get it, so it didn't pan out for me.
Oh, you mean tonight? I was trying to not go there.
I made that comment, and I figured you would flash back to that image that I posted up on Twitter. So you guys, if you're not on the Twitter, you should be, because it's fun. It's funny.
Okay, I'll be right back again.
All right. Let's see. Good Lord, what are they making downstairs? I'm telling you, it smells like Thanksgiving dinner up here.
Oh boy,
I bet
you're squirming in your seat, aren't you?
I bet you somebody is fixing some stovetop downstairs, which we don't have stovetop for Thanksgiving, but it's dressing, so you smell that dressing, and that's one of the things you smell throughout the house is the onions and the spices and the cornbread, and it's Thanksgiving time. So, how long do we have to wait for Thanksgiving now? Oh, gee, it's not even summertime yet.
Sorry, I'm trying to help him make a steam thing to breathe, some eucalyptus drops. So
if you need to go take care of the family, go ahead. Don't worry about
this.
No,
that's fine. He went up to go look for the drops. He's 15. He needs to learn to do this himself.
All right, no problem. I understand, and I just hope he doesn't break something so he can, get babied for a few more years. Oh, don't touch that! You'll just break it. It worked. So anyway, well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this thing up for our live audience. I really do appreciate you being here. Oh, I see that. I think that's Ben.
No, it's Michael. Okay, go.
I think that's. I can't remember if it's Ben Carson or Croson. Anyway, CROSSON92 is there. He's a Twitter follower.
Oh,
I really appreciate
okay. That's
that.
why I was, because he said he'd come down and help me. I don't know if that was a joke.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was here pretty close by. Maybe he is up there. You just never know where people are on the internet.
But I think it was during the this talk, so I don't know the talk about the vinyl things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he was joking. I'm trying to find where it was. Where he said it. Anyway.
Let's see. Just checking here to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Really liked those comments on the YouTube thing. I just happened to see that. I don't normally look for YouTube comments, and I think I got an email update from YouTube, and I saw that on there, and I thought, well, that's nice. It's really nice that Fabio would be cutting his hair and coming and joining the Jeep crew. I don't know if he gets teased much about that down there in Venezuela. I don't know how big Fabio is down there, but that would be 15 minutes worth of fun for me. But anyway, very nice having those comments there on the YouTube. Let's see, just really quickly looking through. I think I covered everybody. If I missed you in chat room, well, that's your own damn fault. You need to chat more. So, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up and do our little promo and et cetera, so we can all go have some stovetop. Well, maybe not all of us. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much for joining us here. Had a good, lively audience tonight. And, if you enjoy the show, if you enjoy the live show, let people know about it. If you're on some of the other forums, some of the other websites on the internet, let them know about the XJ Talk Show. There's probably more than one person out there that has no idea that there's an actual Jeep-related podcast / YouTube live show. And I know we don't do the whole thing is about technical, but we have a lot of technical stuff in here. We try to have some fun. Hopefully it's an entertaining and informative show. And please share it with people. I know you always hear that said, but really tell people about it. Share it on the forums. You don't have to tell them to go over to xjtalk.com. Just tell them to go to xjtalkshow.com, and we'll take it from there. We'll tell them to go to xjtalk.com. But share it with your friends. Post it up on those sites. What's the worst that can happen? They'll ban your ass. Anyway, you guys have a great night, and we will see you next week.